we got to talk about, spoiler alert, a 2-0 victory for the United States against Brazil. We got some good vibes going here. Let's start with a vibe check. Darian, how you doing tonight?
Vibe's a 10 out of 10. Vibe is a 10 out of 10. I love the energy Brazil brought because that was going to make or break some of these young players. And I think we saw everybody rise to the occasion, and I'm here for it. Jess, how you feeling?
Man, I am with you. I am buzzing right now after that game. I mean, I was at the edge of my seat at the very start and, just trying to transition into this show tonight with you awesome ladies. So, yeah, I'm over here at 10 out of 10.
Let's dive in. Let's talk a little bit about how we got here. Allow me to set the scene a little bit, similar to our preview, just sort of the overarching view, what was at stake, some of the storylines going into this first match against Brazil. First time that these two teams have gone head to head since their meeting in the gold medal match during the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, and we all know how that turned out. Trinity Rodman has returned into the mix. She was named to the roster. Still a very young roster going into this international window. The average age was just at 25 years old, even though the She Believes Cup was a little bit lower, but we're still doing the youthful opportunities here for Emma Hayes. And it's a little bit of a homecoming. We knew that this game was going to be at SoFi, so maybe it was a little bit of a hint of who we were going to see sprinkled into that starting lineup, because there's a lot of Cali natives and ones that are specific to the region there around Los Angeles. Let's start with the starting 11, though. When it finally dropped, let's get some first reactions. This is how it rolled out. The starters, we had Fallon Tullis-Joyce in net. Congratulations. Emily Fox, Tara McCown, Emily Sonnet, Crystal Dunn rounding out the back line. Sam Coffey, Lindsay Heaps, Ali Sentnor, Trinity Rodman, Katerina Macario, and Alyssa Thompson to round out that 11. Jess McDonald, what were you doing when you saw this lineup drop? And how did you feel when you saw it?
I was so pumped, first and foremost. So now I'm going to tell the public, because I told y'all in our meeting beforehand. I was Googling Fallon Tullis-Joyce about 10 minutes before the starting lineup came out, because I'm like, this girl, she's absolutely phenomenal. She's hard to play against, to score against. I played against her in Napa Shield with Seattle Reign. And I'm like, man, I would love to see her get some minutes in one of these two friendlies. And then sure enough, 10 minutes later, she's in the starting lineup. So I was pumped for this young woman. So I thought she was phenomenal today. So that's what I was most excited about. And then just looking at the entire starting lineup, all 11, I was excited. I'm like, this is going to be a dominant performance from the start. So I was juiced, and I still am right now.
Nice.
I loved it. My thought was, damn, Sandra's right again. She be knowing these freaking lineups, and I know I'm gonna be wrong. I need to not even try. I need to put in what I hope for, not what I actually think, because what I think is incorrect. Let me just try to channel what Sandra Herrera is putting out and what she's gonna put on. Because damn, Fallon Tullis-Joyce started the game, ended the game on top. I mean, talk about a statement. But the piece that stuck out to me when I first saw this was Ali Sentnor in the 10. Ali Sentnor in the 10. And my initial thought was her and Macario are going to be flip-flopping. We're going to see a rotation. We're going to see combination. That space is going to be really, really exposed. And we saw it happen in the game. I love this. Emma Hayes is brilliant. But Sandra, I want to know your initial thoughts. Were you like, did you walk with a little pep in your step when you strut around the house a little bit more when you saw PTJ in the goal?
Listen, bless everyone who's joining us live or on Golasso, because I had to put my hair down for that one, Darian. Because listen, it is tough to do any projections in the Emma Hayes era, because you just truly never know what you're going to get, especially in these next 2 years in the build up to the next cycle. She is nothing else but a woman of her word and said, we are going to evaluate and rotate and experiment. So the fact that PTJ got that start, I was clinging to it, because we did in our preview some of our own projections / wish list, some things that we want to see. And that's kind of the way I went. Got to listen to your heart sometimes. And just listening to some of the stuff coming out of some of the availabilities with Emma Hayes, she said that is a position that they are definitely looking at, that they're working on narrowing, that they haven't quite narrowed it down just yet. And now that Fallon Tullis-Joyce has gotten some time into these camps, they got to see really what she's about and what a game. So I was thrilled to see her in the starting 11 for sure. But I really like seeing Tara McCown in the mixer as well. This was another huge opportunity, in my opinion, after coming out of She Believes and getting a couple games against Brazil now. And look, the return of Rodman. I think in our preview as well, in my projections for the 11, that this was going to be in an area that she's familiar with. It's a little bit of a homecoming in that sense. So I wanted to see her get a start, even if it was just for 45 minutes. But she gave us some more. And what a start to the game for sure. But I think biggest thing out of this starting 11, besides the continued shakeup at the goalkeeper position, was knowing that there's a whole bench to pull from as well. There's that feeling where you're like, well, this might not just be like who we see for a full 90 minutes. At any moment in those sub windows, we could see some more players come into the mix and maybe, just maybe, even get another debut, which we ended up seeing a little later again in the match, and we'll touch on that for sure. But there was a first half and there was a second half, and we are going to chat and break down some things that stood out to us over the course of the first half. Stick with us. We'll be right back after a quick break. All right, let's get into it. This first 45, we hit everybody with our first impressions of that starting 11. It already generated excitement right from the jump. And really, this United States women's national team got cooking pretty quickly on the board within the opening 5 to 6 minutes. Trinity Rodman scores the first goal of the game. Within this first opening 5 minutes, I think we saw Brazil try to set the tempo. They tried to take that game to the United States pretty quickly. Jess, I'm going to go to you first with this one. What did you see out of Brazil in that opening 5 minutes? And did you think maybe this was going to be a little bit of a longer stretch for the United States to have to unlock things?
Absolutely, because they came out with fire immediately. As soon as the whistle blew, I'm like, "Ooh, this is going to be a great game. Brazil's about to be on top right now." And then United States came back with it early on with that Trinity Rodman goal, which was just amazing on Alyssa Thompson's part, doing the hard part. But, at first, Brazil brought their A game. And, it continued throughout the game, even though United States scored first. They didn't sit too comfortably in that first half, and Brazil kept pressing them. And it was just a battle, so much physicality. But at the end of the day, I got to talk about Alyssa Thompson's assist, because she sat down her defender. I mean, she just said, just go ahead and sit down real quick, because I'm going to shake and bake. I'm going to samba on you, not the other way around. And then Trinity Rodman's run, coming from the outside pocket, from the outside defender's back shoulder. She slices in at full speed, front foot. First touch to her front foot was just perfection, outside the right foot goal. And that set the tone for the U.S. because it was a little shaky at first, not terrible, but, Brazil did come out on their front foot. But that Alyssa Thompson play changed the game completely for the U.S. They started playing with a little more bravery after that. So, I mean, hats off to Brazil, because they still fought until that final whistle.
And it's a good one to maybe ask about your team MVP out of this game, because we have talked over the course of the full 90 minutes here, and we have a lot of praise for a lot of different individual players. But when it comes down to this game, who is your match MVP, Darian?
Ooh, I love when I go first. Match MVP, Valentola's Joyce. There's no other way. She set the energy level for the team. Her aura was calm, cool, collective, quiet. I don't need to talk. I don't need to yell. Watch me make this save. Watch me side volley this straight into Macario for hold up play, slicing through everybody in the field. I noted that we haven't seen a keeper on the U.S. side do that. So She's swaggy. She's calm, cool, collected. I had to give it to Fallon Torres-Joyce. And unsung hero of the match, Crystal freaking Dunn for me. I don't need to say anymore. Crystal Dunn.
I love it. I love it. Jess, how about you? Who's your game MVP in this one?
I got to go with Darian on this one. Fallon Torres-Joyce. I was excited for this start. You know, she's calm, cool, collected, but the woman swims with sharks. You got to be calm in big moments like that. She's a marine biologist for crying out loud. You know what pressure? Sharks ain't got nothing on her, and neither will a soccer ball coming at her. But I absolutely enjoyed every minute of her in goal, because that's what you need from, you know, a goalkeeper on this U.S. Women's national team. I mean, we've had some historical keepers, and she showed up and she showed out for her first cap. Come on, she didn't look shooketh. Again, she swims with sharks, so it didn't even surprise me, you know. So I was just so impressed. But, you know, secondly, it was tough between her and Alyssa Thompson. Alyssa Thompson, I love how she's just elevated her game over time. Just, she probably could have had a few assists this game, maybe a couple goals herself, but just watching her elevate her game, I mean, was just nothing short of amazing today. So I really enjoyed the two of them, but I got to give it to PTJ on this one.
I think we're going 3 for 3 here. It's hard to move away from everything we talked about in this game. Yes, there were two goals, and it's a shutout. And I'm always going to love a shutout, especially against a good team with a good attack. I wanted to see Fallon Torres-Joyce in this game to get the start. I was blessed, and she delivered. So I'm absolutely going with PTJ in this one. Came up with good saves, had great awareness, good positioning. And I love the shout out to the marine biology as well. I mean, you're right. Who could be intimidated? Because the ocean is a very intimidating place. So that's probably where Fallon Torres-Joyce is just like, I'm not scared of nothing. If you're not scared of the ocean, you can't be scared of nothing. Let alone some goals, some shots coming at you from 30 yards away. If I had to give it to a close second, Alyssa Thompson for sure. You just thought maybe that goal was going to come, but she's going to settle for the assist out of this game. And it's so funny to think about that. It's just to settle for an assist, but she was absolutely crucial everywhere. She covered so much blades of grass out there on the pitch, found herself in good moments, capitalizing in pockets of space. You love to see it. And we keep noting the maturity, and we see it match by match by match for this very, very young player. So I'm going PTJ with the honors, and second place for Alyssa Thompson. Maybe underrated for me. I'm going to shout out to you, Darren. You're like, someone else underrated for me. I think for me, underrated, maybe Katarina Macario, another player not on the score, but I thought had a really, really good game. Someone else who is showing us match by match that she is also has returned to the United States Women's National Team. Game 2 coming up, though. They got a quick turnaround, as any team does in the international window. Who do you need to see more from, and who do you want to see more from, Jess?
You know what? I would love to see a sprinkle of Ashley Hatch. I love that she got in today. You know, she got a few minutes, so we'll see if she gets that start next game, because she's been shining so well for her club, Washington Spirit. And I mean, Kat Macario, she was just absolutely incredible today, you know, at the 9 position. She held up the ball. She combined with everyone. She brought even her Brazilian roots into the game, you know. And so at the end of the day, I would love to see a little sprinkle, a little more of some Ashley Hatch, because I'm an Arizona native, so is Ashley. So I just want her to thrive at the end of the day.
There's nothing wrong with showing love to you. There's nothing wrong with showing love. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. How about you, Darren? Who do you need to see a little bit more from in match 2?
Jaden Shaw. I think we've been talking about her a long time of, oh, I can't wait to see the Shaw we saw in the W Gold Cup. Oh, we didn't get to see her in the Olympics. We're not really seeing her with club play. We're not seeing her get a lot of minutes in camp, which is a reflection of how you're training at camp, how you're performing with your club team. I want to see her back and confident and playing like the free Jaden Shaw that we know. I don't know if it's an overload of information. I don't know if the competition level other players are showing out at camp, but it's a big nod that you got minutes in this game. A lot of players didn't get minutes. So when you get those, come in and be effective. Take your shots. dribble through the middle of the pitch. Like that is what she's so good at. She's knocked Abby Erceg off of the ball 1v1.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it against this Brazilian team. So I want to see more from her. I hope she gets more minutes in the second leg, but I need more to be convinced that she's in this core group that Emma Hayes is looking at going forward. How about you, Sandra?
I'm with you, D. I think it's feeling more and more like players who are ready now and players who are ready later. What we've heard from Emma Hayes as she continues to kind of evaluate this more expanded player pool. And I think Shaw kind of fits in there. And I think you can listen in some of the framing around it in her answers with this player. She reminds the media often that she's also very young and she went pro very young. And so at this point, maybe she's kind of, you're like, wow, this player has been playing for, 3 years now, and maybe when are we going to see it? We want to see it. So it takes time. It takes time for sure. But this is that time, though. This is that window. This is that building for 2027. So hopefully we continue to see that. Maybe we will get to see that in match 2. I'd also like to give a little special shout out to Claire Hutton because I like what we saw out of her in She Believes Cup. So I'd like to see what she can do against Brazil. So maybe we'll get to see that in match 2. Match 2 coming up on Sunday. United States will take on Brazil, on Tuesday, April 8th at 10:30 p.m.
What a quick turnaround.
That's a huge turnaround. Don't listen to me, y'all. That's why I'm not a coach.